Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today I'll talk about some contractual issues required for a play at the top of the value chain of the oil and gas sector. As had been mentioned in one or two of our previous episodes, the value chain starts with exploration, followed by exploitation and production. At the exploration stage, what you're doing is going in search of oil and gas deposits. After convincing yourself that the oil and gas deposits exist in commercial quantity, you move into the exploitation stage, where you prepare the newly discovered fields for production. Closely following that stage is the production phase, where you bring the oil and gas to the surface. At this stage, the main assets used are drilling rigs and numerous associated equipment, which we will discuss in more detail in subsequent episodes. Remember, that when you are operating in this part of the value chain, you are said to be upstream. To make your efforts worth all the trouble and expenditure, you need to do something with the oil and gas produced. This leads you into the next phase of the value chain, which is transportation and or further processing. You either transport the produced oil and gas to customers outside the shores of your country, who in turn either stock for strategic reasons or refine for their immediate local uses. Alternatively, you can deliver the oil and gas to your locals, who use your oil and gas as feedstock into their refineries and petrochemical plants. At this stage, the main assets used are oil and gas pipelines, ocean-going vessels, road haulage trucks, and indeed LNG vessels, which are used to transport liquefied gas over long distances. Remember that when you operate in this part of the value chain, you're said to be operating midstream. As oil and gas reside under the surface of the earth, you need a lease, an agreement, or a contract or anything similar with the owners of the land in order to play in the upstream sector as technically defined earlier. In most of North America, US and Canada in particular, private land is called free land with two types of ownership: surface rights ownership and mineral rights ownership. The surface rights owner can build houses, ranches, or farm on the land, while the mineral rights owner can explore and drill for oil and gas or any other minerals under the surface of the earth on such land. The two types of owners are not necessarily the same person or organization. About one third of mineral rights in the United States of America are actually owned by the federal or state government. In every other country of the world, Nigeria inclusive, mineral rights are vested solely in the federal government. After securing a lease, which is a document that grants the holder the right to explore, drill, and produce oil and gas during the life of the lease, the leaseholder pays a signature bonus and subsequently royalty to the mineral rights owner, which in this case is the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Two types of leases are common. One is an oil prospecting lease or license, abbreviated OPL. The other is an oil mining lease or license, abbreviated OML. Signature bonuses are paid by the lessee to the lessor for signing the lease. It varies between $25 to $50 per acre and can be as high as $250 per acre, depending on the potential of the land in question. A royalty is a promised fraction of the gross revenue from the oil and gas that will be produced free of any production costs. A standard royalty used is about 12.5%, but it is now commonly higher than that, either 18.75% or 20%, or whatever figures the parties involved are able to negotiate. It's good to mention that leases are real property. They can be bought, sold, and traded. A company can transfer a lease to another company in return for a royalty, an activity termed a farm out. Leases accepted from another company are termed farm-in. Leases have a time frame for expiration called the primary term, which ranges between 1 to 5 years. If commercial petroleum is not established within the primary term, the lease expires. If commercial petroleum is established within the primary term, the lease is automatically extended into a secondary term. We hope you've enjoyed listening and that it's been simple, makes sense, and leads to success. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. We are Fossil TMB Services. Thank you.